All right, welcome back. We have a little breaking news here. How about that?
What we got?
Sometimes we stumble into it. We got breaking news.
Give it to me.
Do we go to social media for this? And we got the Padres logo up in the middle of the screen for this reason. Here we go. Breaking news. We told you Team USA's pitching staff got better with the additions that we documented about an hour ago. How about this? Mason Miller's thrown his hat in the ring.
Wow.
The big right-hander is going to pitch for D-Row on Team USA.
Flamethrower.
And how about this? We actually got him in the car waiting to visit with us. Mason, good morning, man. Congrats on this decision. This is fun.
Good morning, guys. Appreciate it. Happy to get on here with you.
Where are you headed? You're en route somewhere.
I just finished up at the gym. I put in the work this morning, East Coast time. So I put in that 3 hours and ready to go now.
Awesome.
Team USA, Mason. That's awesome. So tell me about the call from D-Row.
Yeah, we talked a couple weeks ago about the interest and obviously getting things ironed out with the pods too. But obviously a no-brainer for me, something I'm super excited to do. Honored to represent the country and playing a really cool event that, a lot of passion comes around and, the fans have really enjoyed in the past.
You may break some speed records in that, amped up in that WBC, man. When was the first time you threw a ball 100 miles an hour that you can remember? How old were you?
I would say the first time was after the draft. That was the first time I got to see it in real time. We didn't have the radar gun always popping around at Gardner-Webb and Waynesburg. So I count that after the draft, little fall instructs.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about this decision for you to pitch in the World Baseball Classic because, we hear this constant speculation about your role. I want to hear it from you. Do you like being that ninth inning guy? Do you want to eventually get to being a major league starter? What's perfect for you?
Hey, I think I'm having a lot of success, doing what I've been doing these last couple of years. And, the reason that we ended up making the switch a couple of years ago was for health reasons. And, outside of one blip in 24, I've been able to do that and have a lot of success doing the high leverage late inning role. So, it kind of doesn't make any sense to me to go away from that right now. And I feel really good about where our bullpen is and being part of that group that I think is going to be one of the best in the league again.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I want to ask you because I touched on you throwing 100. You've hit higher numbers than that. And you were just like, fastball, here it is, I dare you to hit me. But you added in a lot of other pitches. You started going to second and third pitches on your rotation. So what are you when did you decide to go more slider and mix in that a lot more than you did the last couple seasons?
Yeah, that fastball played extremely well in 24, and I kind of was coming onto the scene, and guys were kind of figuring out who I was and what my plan of attack was going to be, and things kind of shifted as they do, and so I had to adjust back to the adjustments that hitters were making. My slider's a great pitch as well, so just figuring out how I can couple those and attack hitters, limit damage, and put myself in the best position to succeed.
Has there been an at-bat where a guy took a big swing on you and you're like, okay, here it is. I'm bringing heat every time at you, mano a mano?
I don't know about that. I mean, I think that's where I get in trouble. I gave up that homer to Gurriel, and that was kind of that moment where I was like, I'm going to try and throw it by him, and he got me. But, I always, when I match up against Vladdy, I feel like I can hear his bat speed from the mound. I feel like I can hear the bat whooshing through the zone. So, it's always a mutual respect thing, trying to give guys different looks and not let them get too comfortable up there. I think that's when you get in trouble, is when you kind of let your ego get in the way and say, I'm going to try and just, throw this ball by somebody. Pitching's an art. It's not, how fast or how hard can I shove this ball in the zone, but, trying to get delicate and work the edges and expand. That's kind of where my success has come from.
I love that line. I hear Vladdy's bat speed. I love that. We're going to probably clip that off and put it on our social channels. Hey, I want to ask you about your new manager, Mason, because you're now pitching for a reliever for the most part, Craig Stammen. I want to know about your relationship with Craig and what kind of conversations you've had with him since he's been named Padres skipper.
Yeah, short time in the organization for me, but got a chance to meet Craig and kind of get to know him a little bit in those 2 months. Definitely a guy that commands the respect of the room when he walks in, which, as it's been touched on, is kind of unique for a relief pitcher, but I think that was the guy he was his whole career. So I'm excited to get some boots on the ground this spring and be around those guys and see what kind of priorities and things like that, Stan wants to instill in us. But, I think it's going to be good for the guys too. Kind of encourage that tight-knit group and continue to build on the foundations that we have.
Hey, Mason, the biggest compliment you can get is everybody wants you. And clearly that's been the story with you since you hit the big leagues. You've been traded once before. Your name comes up all the time. I wonder, how do you deal with hearing your name in trade rumors constantly?
I mean, at the end of the day, I said the same thing when I was with the A's. I don't have any control over it, so I try not to give it as much thought. But obviously that creeps in sometimes too. I feel really good about the team that we've built in there in San Diego, and I'm excited to get there this spring, and that's how I'm preparing and planning until I get told otherwise, if I do. But that's kind of the only thing you can do as a player. You're set on one road until somebody tells you you're going a different way, and you just make those adjustments when they come up.
Is that a misprint? 0.77 ERA?
It feels like it should be, but it's not.
0.77?
Not a misprint.
Holy.
Hey, I want to ask you this because, Mason, you're a Yinzer, you're a Pittsburgh guy, and we were just talking about the Steelers. That's a whole nother conversation. But if you had your lunch choice right now, a fish taco in San Diego or a Permane Brothers sandwich in the Steel City?
Hey, if it's October and I'm kicking back and I don't have to work out at all, I'm going to Permane's each time. But I'm working out. That Permane sandwich is going to sit a little heavy. Fresh fish in San Diego is on another level. I love that.
Hey, in the time that we've been visiting with you, apparently this just hit the social media channels that Tarek Skubal has thrown his hat into the ring, and he's going to pitch on Team USA as well. This is quite a staff that's being assembled before our very eyes. Give me your reaction to this news.
The big guns are coming out. I'm excited. I'm glad Scoop decided to do it. Obviously for a starting pitcher, it's definitely more of a commitment, I think, because the preparation and where you need to be. For a reliever, I think it's a little bit easier to get behind it and say I can still be on my kind of program. But a guy like that, back-to-back Cy Youngs, that's the guy that you want, representing your country.
No
so
doubt.
This is like a glorified all-star game, which it is, or all-star team. And usually at all-star game, you may find out what's your pitch grip, what do you try to do in certain situations, how you face a certain guy. What would you want to draw away at the end of this run with all these great pitchers? Is there anything you would want to ask guys along the way? And I'm sure they'll be asking you questions as well. Is there anything you're curious about?
Yeah, it's always talking shop, man. Always talking shop. But I think just getting inside guys' minds and seeing how they think and how they want to attack guys is my favorite thing to do. Just that mental side of things. The gap between talent has gotten so thin. Everybody's got some good stuff. It's about your execution, about how you're thinking through stuff, how you think in critical situations. So, these are the best of the best, man. Hitters included. So if the hitters let me get in there a little bit, I'll try to get in their minds a little too. But we'll see.
Who do you think you would resemble? Is it Paul Skeens probably closest to your style? I think I'm looking at body type, delivery. I don't know. Who would you think is more similar to you?
I mean, I'll take the Skeens comp for sure. Everybody's different, man. It's part of what makes us all unique, all special. I have nothing but respect coming from starting, coming up through the minor leagues, guys that are able to do that for 6-7 innings, 180, 200 innings a year. But yeah, I found success in my role, so try to be that one-on-one guy. Don't try to be like anybody else. Just be yourself.
Now, what's wrong with your Steelers, man? What's going on there?
I mean, last I checked, we're in first place.
Yeah, nothing's wrong, man.
That must just be me.
Who cares if Aaron Rodgers throws it eight yards down the field every time? That's good enough to win, man, with that squad around him.
Get the smile out of him.
Yeah. Hey, Mason, we appreciate the visit today, man. We'll let you get on your way.
Go ahead, Mason. You were going to say something else. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's all right. I'll sit on my first place Steelers and I'll enjoy it right now.
Way to go, man.
Maybe things will turn around a little bit in the playoffs. We'll see.
Congrats on this decision. Glad to have you on Team USA, of course, and we'll be thrilled to watch you during the World Baseball Classic. Enjoy the rest of your holiday season, man. Thanks for the time with us.